This is the end of everything.
You just watched Karen Read on 20/20 tonight at 11. We are hearing from our ABC6 legal analyst about the upcoming second murder trial. Does he think she'll be convicted? Plus, wall-to-wall entertainment tonight in downtown Providence as PVD Fest returns to Kennedy Plaza. What to know if you're going tomorrow. Jeff.
Yeah, the weather is important to know as well for tomorrow. We are tracking a cold front for the weekend. Not going to hamper a lot of it, but I'll let you know when you need that umbrella.
ABC6 News 11 at 11 starts right now.
First tonight, our continuing coverage of the Karen Read murder case. Thanks for joining us. I'm John DeLuca. Many of you just watched that 20/20 exclusive interview with Karen Read discussing the details of her case. ABC's Matt Gutman pressing the 44-year-old from Mansfield about O'Keefe's death.
Would you say that you were angry with John that night?
Yes.
Could you have been angry enough and slightly drunk because he had annoyed you that in the fit of rage you just backed up and
Never.
tried to tap him?
I would never.
Not to try to kill him, but try to
tap him with my 6,000-pound full-size SUV. To hit John's body with my car. No.
Did you kill John O'Keefe?
I did not kill John O'Keefe. I've never harmed a hair on John O'Keefe's head.
Read's first trial ended in a mistrial after jurors deadlocked. Now, in the weeks since that lengthy first trial, defense attorneys for Read have been trying to get 2 counts dismissed, arguing jurors reached a unanimous not guilty verdict on second-degree murder, even though they couldn't agree on a lesser charge. The judge tossing that defense motion. Now Read is set to face all 3 charges again in a second trial scheduled to start in late January. Now, the support for Read has been fervent as her case plays out on national television. These photos taken in Providence on Labor Day at one of a number of demonstrations organized to support her. Same story in Bristol County, Mass, with a big Labor Day gathering on the Taunton Green. Members of Read's family also visited a rally in Dighton, another key place in this saga, given that Read's car was towed from her parents' home in that small town after O'Keefe was killed. Read made an appearance in Dedham with her family. Her loyal supporters spent plenty of time in Dedham at Norfolk County Superior Court during the first trial.
The crowd was going, they were pretty loud, and she was happy. It was nice to see her dad. Her dad was happy. He looked good, and her brother was here. So they really like the support. We still want to support her right through. You know, we're not going to stop. We're not going to quit. Like Mr. Jackson says, we're not going to quit.
The group that organizes the Karen Read Standouts is planning another rally at the State House later on this month. Now, since the mistrial, John O'Keefe's family filed a civil suit against Read and the bars that served her that night. Now, the suit alleges both bars, C.F. McCarthy's and the Waterfall, served Read after she was already drunk and let her drive away. Read says she was buzzed, but felt she could safely drive her car. It also accuses Read of leaving O'Keefe to die in the snow after hitting him with her vehicle. It does not mention the dollar amount O'Keefe's family is seeking. Family and friends of O'Keefe were also part of tonight's 20/20 special, hoping the Boston police officer's memory does not get lost in the shuffle.
And his badge number is 2490. So I have his badge number on my necklace. We have stickers that we put on our phones. We have stickers on the car.
Renee and I both got tattoos with this badge number.
2490 was Johnny's badge number, and that's become the numerical symbol of finding justice for him.
Justice for JJ! Justice for JJ!
Now, was Karen Read's decision to do a national TV sit-down interview a smart decision legally? ABC6 News reporter Ryan Medeiros asked our ABC6 News legal analyst about that very question. He joined us now live in the newsroom with that part of the story. Ryan, what do you have?
Well, John, our Ken Schreiber reminding us tonight that anything you say can be used against you, especially when you say it on a platform as big as 20/20. But he went on to explain why this interview may have actually been a strategic move from the Read defense team.
Karen Read sitting down in an exclusive interview with ABC's 20/20. Her first extensive comment since the jury deadlocked in her first trial.
I had felt like I had alcohol. I felt that I had a buzz. But I did not feel it was unsafe for me to be operating my vehicle.
ABC6 News legal analyst Ken Schreiber of Schreiber & Schreiber in Cranston says Read's decision to interview on national TV is unusual.
In many cases like this, as in national cases, you have the lawyers speak for you. Yeah, you know, anything that you say can be used against you, especially when you say it in a public forum like this.
Nevertheless, Schreiber says he's sure Reed's high-powered team made the necessary preparations.
I would be surprised if anything that she said would incriminate her, because I think she ran anything she said by her attorney, Attorney Jackson, before she said it. I would hope so.
Schreiber says the interview could be a sign of a defense on the offensive.
Her lawyer is almost saying to the district attorney, you know what, try it again if you want. We're going to get the same decision, if not a better one, the second time. He's almost daring them. And now he's going in full-scale publicity mode.
That first trial gripping the nation, airing live in its entirety.
It's a fascinating defense, and if any of it is true, that doesn't speak well, which is basically that it's a cover-up by the police department here. Her lawyer is absolutely convinced that she did nothing wrong and that she did not hit him with her SUV on that date.
Schreiber thinks Reed's team may have an edge with the second trial on deck.
So you think, if anything, the defense could be more fueled from the first trial to actually be in a better position, possibly for the second one?
It's always good when you get a preview. So you got everybody under oath. You know that each and every witness that testified at the first trial, you may not have known what he or she was going to say before they said it. Now you know.
The Norfolk County DA expected to pursue the same charges against Reed in the second trial: second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence of alcohol, and leaving the scene of a collision causing death. John?
Ryan, what did Ken say about the upcoming trial? Does he think she's going to be convicted?
Well, John, he told me he believes the second trial may not be a surprise at all, with much of the same evidence coming into play. He also told me he thinks we may see a very similar verdict. One main difference this time is that one of the state's key witnesses, Trooper Michael Proctor, was suspended without pay in July after Massachusetts State Police pulled him off the job, following the first trial. John?
Very interesting. All right, thank you, Ryan. All right, let's change up the subject now on this Friday night and get a check on the forecast. Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Benson joining us live in the Weather Center. All right, we made it to Friday. It's been a phenomenal weather week. What does that mean for the weekend now? High expectations?
Well, let me first ask you this, John. Was this the nicest week of the year? I mean, you were saying?
I would think so. Yeah. If we were doing our grading system, I would give it an A all week, really.
I think it's an A+. I really do. I mean, outside of the clouds we had this morning, I mean, it was absolutely perfect. A little bit chilly. She stepped out the door in the mornings, but it would warm up quickly, and it's going to do so next week as well. We'll get to the weekend in a second here. Beautiful shot from Bill today down in Point Judith, enjoying what became a sunny afternoon. A little cloudy this morning, a little bit of fog down by the water, and it all went away, and we had a very lovely afternoon. So just when you thought maybe we were going to round out the week with a lousy day, Mother Nature said, nah, I got you one more. We are going to start to see clouds moving back in. It's clear and westerly up into Connecticut right now, but you're starting to see a good deal of cloud cover across the rest of the region. Still dealing with those northeast winds right now. That onshore flow kept things a little bit on the cooler side today than, say, the last couple of days where it was more in the upper 70s. Today we were about 70 to 75. So we've got a coastal storm offshore that's pulling up into Nova Scotia right now. It is going to bring us some coastal concerns if you're heading down to the water this weekend. I will be back in a bit to explain those. We also have this cold front that is tracking through. Follow it with me here. And as you can see, most of the afternoon tomorrow, cloudier but dry. Here we are at 3 o'clock. Here comes that line moving through Connecticut. Here we are at 8 o'clock. So expect some late dinner time showers through about, say, maybe 10 o'clock or so, and quickly clearing the region and setting up for, again, what's going to be, if it's impossible to top this week, John, if it is, next week we'll give it a run for its money.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you, Jeff. New tonight on ABC 6 News at 11, Providence police have arrested 51-year-old Dwayne Gibson. He's now being charged with murder. According to police, Gibson assaulted a man late last month on Cliff Street. 47-year-old Ricky Saunders later died at the hospital. The medical examiner deemed his death a homicide. Saunders' murder marking the 8th homicide of the year in Providence. Well, that announcement comes as the city continues to mourn the murder of a 7-year-old girl last week on Florence Street. This video sent to our Now Local News app showing the growing memorial for Niall. 2 men are now charged with killing her. 2 people are dead, several others injured after a rollover crash this morning on 195 in New Bedford. According to the Massachusetts State Police, this happened around 9:30 right near exit 24 on 195 East. 2 people were pronounced dead at the scene. 3 others were hospitalized. The victims have not been publicly identified just yet. Now to political news at 11. The return of college students to campus all around the country now bringing back their protests of the ongoing war in Gaza. A group of Georgetown University students getting attention earlier this week in which they chanted "From the river to the sea." Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss, who represents much of Bristol County, says he has a problem with people who chant "From the river to the sea."
I personally find that phrase reprehensible because it calls for the extinction of Israel. And that's why I think that most of those protesters who are chanting it, they really shouldn't be described as pro-Palestinian protesters. I'm pro-Palestinian. I want to see the Palestinian people have security, dignity, and prosperity. That is anti-Israel.
There has been some debate over whether the phrase "From the river to the sea" should be considered hate speech online. The board of Meta, the parent company of Facebook, recently said it would not consider that phrase hate speech. New at 11, the bodies of 2 boaters missing after a Labor Day crash off of Old Saybrook were found tonight. Police already identified 34-year-old Christopher Hallahan as the first victim of that Labor Day crash. The 2 victims recovered today have not been identified yet. According to officials, their boat slammed into a seawall at a high rate of speed after leaving Block Island. A Westerly family burned out of their home. Calls started coming in just after 10:30 last night, reporting a house fire on Lawton Ave in Misquamicut. The flames were so intense, firefighters could not go inside. The house is a total loss, but everyone did make it out safely. How it started is still being determined. Still to come tonight on ABC6 News at 11, a preseason version of Pick 6. As high school football returns for another season, Nicholas Snicky will have all the highlights from Durfee, LaSalle, and Hendricken. And everything you need to know about PBD Fest, including that weekend forecast, which does have some rain in it. Jeff is here to time it all out. You're watching ABC6, Southern New England's trusted news source.